Well, hello there. Welcome back to my channel once again. Welcome to a new video. Now, today we're talking money and cars. Basically, we're looking at the top 5 most expensive cars in South Africa. These are cars that are privately owned by individuals. So let's just get right into it.
We'll take on the world. We'll take on the world. We'll take on the world. We are the universe, so beautiful. No one ever heard. We'll stand invincible, so beautiful. We'll take on the world. 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 We'll take.
The bottom of the list at number 5 is the McLaren Senna. McLaren's track-focused hypercar, I guess, built solely to go as quickly as possible around a racetrack. The Senna looks like no other car on the road. It looks basically motorsport inspired. Unlike other cars which they take a road car and apply some race pedigree to it, the Senna is built from the ground up solely with motorsport in mind. So the Senna brand new was about just under 1 million. I'm talking dollars, US dollars. But now in the second-hand market, they go up to like 1.4, 1.5 million dollars. In South African rands, I think we're looking at about 20 million rands thereabout. My conversion is not that precise. The Senna features the 4-liter twin-turbo V8 pushing out just under 800 horsepower, which is about 580 kilowatts. There are about 800 newton meters of torque, and listen to this, 800 kilograms of downforce, which means a couple of dudes can actually stand on the wing of the Senna, which is mind-boggling. Basically, it's an insane car. I've had a chance to see a couple of them out here in the country. Number 4, we're going over to the Porsche 918 Spider. Porsche is a hybrid hypercar. It is basically a car that introduced new technology into the new brand, new designs that you're going to see in other series production models like the 911 Panameras and so on, which is stuff like the steering wheel that you see in a lot of the models right now, the GT steering wheel, and basically hybrid technology, infotainment system, and all of that. It features a 4.6 liter naturally aspirated V8 mated to, I think, 2 electric motors. In total, it produces about 875 horsepower, which is well over 650 kilowatts. They also started out brand new just under $1 million, which is around 18 million rands thereabout. But now you can find one in the second-hand market. They go for like $1.5 million, which is around 22 million rands thereabout. An absolutely insane machine. I haven't seen one, but I think there's about 2 or 3 in the country, with some from overseas that have been flown over to the country for a while, but I've went back. There was one that came from the UAE in black a couple of years ago. But yeah, we have a fair share of 918 Spiders in the country. Number 3, we're moving over to Ferrari's insane LaFerrari, which translates literally to the Ferrari. LaFerrari, the Ferrari, what am I saying? LaFerrari, the Ferrari. An insane name which doesn't make sense whatsoever, but that's always the case with Italian names. To us, they sound so cool and like the name of some sort of spaceship. For example, Disco Volante, the Alfa Romeo, if you remember that, which apparently just means flying saucer, but to me it sounds like the name of a diamond or something. But yeah, LaFerrari 6.3 liter naturally aspirated V8 mated to an electric motor as well, which you cannot drive in electric mode because Ferrari says they're not interested in electric cars. Interesting. Yeah, brand new, they were about 1.2 to 1.4 million dollars. Now you can find one for about 3.2 million dollars, which is, yeah, well over 30 million rands. But the LaFerrari needs no introduction. It looks like an insect, sounds insane, an incredible amount of power. That is 963 horsepower. In total, what is that in kilowatts? No idea. Try to estimate around that in kilowatts. Probably towards 700 kilowatts, thereabout, which is insane. Yeah. And number 2, we're looking at the Pagani Huayra Roadster. One just rolled into the country recently. It is absolutely insane to have one of those, a work of art on wheels. Pagani built just 100 of Huayra Roadsters and also 100 Huayra Coupes. They are very rare and they're very expensive. Starting at MSRP is about $2.9 million before options, and with a well-optioned one, you're looking at well over $3.5 million, and they are fairly new. To even think how much they'll cost in the second-hand market, I have no idea. But in South Africa, our taxes this side are much higher. So if you were to buy one brand new this side, you're looking at probably around 14 million rands. Yeah, which is well higher than the starting MSRP in the US. I'm using the USA as the benchmark here. But yeah, an absolutely beautiful machine. Full exposed carbon fiber, the one that we have right here in the country, with some red touches all over around the tricolor stripe across the front of the car and everything. It looks amazing. Red interior and all of that, featuring Mercedes AMG 6-liter twin turbo V12 with over 750 horsepower, which is about 540 kilowatts. Yeah, that's a lot. Only drawback, it still has an old school single clutch transmission, 7-speed, but yeah, it's not that bad. But it's an old car based on a 2012 platform. Back then, single clutches were still a normality, or yeah, they were still common back then, but now all hail to the double clutch. But it's an absolutely beautiful machine. And then at the top of the list, we have a Bugatti Veyron, how do you pronounce this? Mansory Vivier, that one. Diamond edition with some diamond on the Bugatti logo, on the horse grille on the front. Yeah, it looks insane. It looks insane. I don't know if that's the only part where you find the diamond, but full exposed forged carbon, the entire body. It looks absolutely mental. The Veyron needs no introduction. A marvel of a car that introduced the level of performance that we see in a lot of hypercars today, and that was way back in 2005 when it debuted. It was insane, featuring, listen to this, 16.4 liters, 16.4 liter quad turbocharged motor, which is a W16. It has 16 cylinders. A W16 is basically 2 V8s mated together. You'd even wonder how they managed to fit the engine into that body. No idea. Power, the Mansory edition has 1,200 horsepower, which is about 800 kilowatts and around 1,200 Newton meters of torque. An insane amount of numbers. That is insane. Can do well over 250 miles an hour, which is around 410 kilometers an hour, and it tops the list at $3.4 million. Yeah, that's insane. What is that? Around 40 million rands, thereabout. An expensive machine, but yeah, it is an insane car, luxury orientated, basically a hyper GT. You can travel across continents as quickly as possible in great amounts of comfort. But yeah, that is the entire list right there, looking at some of the most expensive cars that we have right here in the country. And that's my conclusion. Thank you guys for tuning in to today's video. I hope you really enjoyed it. Until next time, cheers.